My name is Darren Bousman. I'm a filmmaker. I have a movie here premiering tonight at the Overlook Film Festival called St. Agatha. I am also the creator of an immersive experience called the Tension Experience, and I'm here on an immersive panel talking about that. This is a first for me, this movie. Usually I only work on movies that I've developed or I've written or I've, like Repo was a movie that I tried to get made for years and years and years and finally made it. This was a movie that actually came to me from the Tension Experience. The line producer of the Tension Experience came to me one afternoon in the middle of the show and he goes, just read this for me, just read it for me. And I'm like, dude, we're in the middle of the show. And he's like, just read this for me. And I read it and I said, this could be really fun. Can I just put all the tension people in it? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. So I asked Sabrina, who is the lead of the Tension Experience, and I said, hey, do you want to be St. Agatha and St. Agatha? And so I cast her and a bunch of other people, and we went to Atlanta and shot the movie. So I got the movie right after the Tension Experience ended, and we were shooting it 4 months later on that. So yeah, we've been finished a year now with it. What I hope people take away from it, it's a weird movie. I always try to make things that are different. I hope that when you look at my pedigree of films, they're not the same. I did a few Saw films, and I said, fuck that, I want to go make musicals, so I made a couple musicals, and I was like, no, I'm going to go make a crime movie. Then I went to Japan, and I shot an all-Japanese show, so I try to do weird and different things, and this is I want to call it a horror film. It's a dark movie about 1950s and women trying to give birth in a convent. So it's a kind of unique film for me to do, but I'm excited for people to see it. So I've always wanted to tell stories. I always wanted to be a storyteller. I started my career out making films. My first film was Saw 2. But after a few films, I got really disenfranchised. It just became monotonous to me. There was nothing exciting about it. I love films, I love movies, and I love directing movies, but it's a very laborious process. You show up for 12 or 14 hours and you might shoot a page and a half, 2 pages, and when you finish the movie after fighting numerous battles, you might have 60% of your vision left in the film. Then it might, if you're lucky, come out in a year, most times 2 or 3 years after the fact. And by that time, why you made that movie to begin with is now long gone. And I think that with immersive theater, it's immediate. There is an immediate reaction. Clint, my writer of the Tension Experience, writes something on Monday, and we're doing it on Wednesday, and there are reviews up on Thursday. It's an immediate thing, and so it's however I'm feeling as an artist in that moment is vocalized immediately, and it's out there immediately. Where St. Agatha, you'll see when you see it tonight, it deals with a lot of things that were going on at the time. It deals with women's rights to their own bodies. At that same time, there was a huge kind of debate over Planned Parenthood and things like that. And so we made this movie as kind of a commentary on what was going on with, a lot of things in politics. Well, now years have passed since that initial concept happened. Yes, it's still relevant. Whereas immersive theater, if we take about what's going on in politics today, it's still relevant the second we do it. And so I think that's been the hardest thing for me. From a directing standpoint, it's the same. You're talking to actors, you're trying to get them to convey emotions, but from a payoff standpoint, I think to me immersive theater still has a more fulfilling payoff. Well, the thing when doing a movie like St. Agatha, there's not a lot of leeway. These are the pages, these are the script, these are what we're prepared to do today. We have 25 extras and we have to do this scene right here, and you have to say these lines and it can't go over because the movie has to be 95 minutes, it can't be 2 hours. Whereas Tension, no. In Tension, it's like, what do we feel like? How do we want to react to these audience members? The scene could last 4 minutes or could last 11 minutes depending on your interaction. So the freedom with immersive theater is much bigger than the freedom with a movie. A movie is very structured. It's a very structured thing. I also find in some respects filmmaking is a harder process in the way that with St. Agatha we had no time. I don't remember the amount of days we shot it in, but I want to say it was 14 or 15. It was very little. We had very little money, so the resources were not there. And there wasn't a lot of fun in the way of, there was so much tension in the way of time. Like, you gotta go. You have 8 hours to shoot these 9 pages, and we lose this kid because he has to go to school. So it was a lot run, and I wasn't enjoying it. With Tension, it's a whole different story. It was organic, and I think that it progressed organically. Where a movie, like I said, it's structured. You know what you're going to do every day. You know what you have to get done, and there's not a lot of room for exploration. So the future of immersive entertainment, I think we're in an exciting time right now. There was someone recently that said to me that we're in the grunge era, like Seattle was, and that when like you had Nirvana and you had all these. I feel like that is kind of right. We're in that like epicenter of this amazing movement. I think audiences now are disenfranchised and they're oversaturated with the same. It's the same thing. If you go on Netflix now, there is 9,000 titles to choose from, and I usually give up after the 4th page. I'm like, well, no, I'm bored. And I forget about movies the minute I see them. I see a movie and I forget about it 2 days later. And that's sad because going to a movie used to be a religious experience. Like I remember when I went and saw a movie in the theater, you know, I might see 2 movies a week, and the smell of popcorn and the sitting in the theater, it was a religious experience. Now I watch 10 movies a week. Sometimes I watch 3 or 4 movies a day, and I forget about them the minute they leave my site. I think with immersive, it forces you not only to be present, but to have an interaction, to have a moment, and a moment that will never be the same with anyone else. No matter how similar the scene is, you have a unique experience that no one else will have a similar one of. And I think that it forces you to put your phone down. It forces you to put your Twitter and your Instagram and your fucking Facebook away, and it forces you to interact. And people are scared to interact now. I went to a bar last night, right? Beautiful people, guys and girls sitting there. They're all on their fucking phones. They're looking at Tinder. And I'm like, there is a beautiful girl on the right and left of you, and you're like, I'm sorry, I'm cussing. You're looking at your phone trying to talk to people, interact with people, but we're not. We're scared to do that. We bury our noses down because I think that we are a disconnected people now. We have so many things to do. And this is a stupid story, but I downloaded a game for the plane. I'm playing this game called Fallout on my iPad. I don't do shit in the game. I hit buttons and I just do it for hours. And last night I realized it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm literally wasting, I'm doing nothing, and it's like a drug. You don't realize you're addicted to a drug until you have those moments of clarity. And for me, immersive theater is moments of clarity. And so where I think we're gonna see the future going with this is, you're gonna find more activations, more pop-ups. You know, Westworld did that huge thing at South by Southwest. That had more publicity and press than anything else I saw. Why? Because you're forced to live inside the environment. And so I think that entertainment is going to be more about you. You're going to have to interact with it. You're going to have to uncover it. You're going to have to work for it. It's not just going to be handed to you. And I think that's the difference. A Snickers bar might taste good, but it's not necessarily good for you. And that I think that with immersive theater it's a fine wine. It's a 5-6 course meal. You have to work for it. It's not just going to be a Snicker bar that you unwrap a package and eat it. It's going to be something that is curated and you have to work for. I don't think my Snicker bar analogy made much sense, but I'm going to stay with it. Immersive theater is an addiction for, I think, anyone that does it. For me as a creator and as well as a participant. I was just on a panel with these numerous creators, and I've been to all of their shows, and I follow them religiously like a fan. I mean, here I am sitting with them and talking like I know what I'm talking about, yet I'm giddy that I'm going to go do Blackout, or I just saw the John Braver's Delusion VR thing. I think, what was your question?
What excites you about it?
What excites me about immersive theater? I think what's exciting is that every day I go through a range of emotions, and not necessarily great emotions. I deal with the stress of paying bills. I deal with the monotony of dealing with my kids' school and having to pay bills and fill out paperwork. There's all of these laborious things we do in an everyday thing, and we feel these same emotions and feelings. The thing with immersive theater is it shocks you. It is a jolt of electricity that you don't feel every day. I just took my son to Legoland, and he rode his first roller coaster. It was awesome because when you go to a roller coaster, you wait in line for 40 minutes. And then you get to the top, you get in your car, and it just goes up, 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 and you're waiting. What you're waiting for is the drop. And why you're waiting for the drop is you feel something that you don't feel every day. Now, most of your day is waiting in lines. It's waiting. It's getting from point A to point B. You don't get the drop very often. And I think for me, immersive theater is the drop. It is, I know when I go into Blackout, I'm gonna feel something. Rage, anger, resentment. I'm gonna feel something that I don't feel every day. Fear, paranoia. And I think these are feelings that you know you're safe, you know you're in a safe environment, but you're able to live through these feelings. The drop of the roller coaster. that you know you're safe, you know it's only for a limited period of time, but that stays with you. And I think for me, immersive theater gives you a feeling that you're not used to, and as a jolt through your body, it shocks you awake. It's like why people jump in the water when it's freezing. The Polar Bear Club, you want to feel that thing. You want to remind yourself that you're alive. And I think that immersive theater can do that. Good immersive theater can. Yeah, so I think with the future of our brand, you know, I have partners, Gordon Bijelonic and Clint Sears. We started off to make an impact in immersive theater. We always kind of saw ourselves as wanting to start the Cirque du Soleil of immersive theater, where the tension experience was the brand, but then there are different shows. There's Lust, there's Adrenaline, there's Nefarious, and these are like Zumanity, Mystere. So we partnered with the Russo brothers to help make that a reality, and we're starting right now with Las Vegas. Vegas will be its own show. It'll be part of the Tension universe, but it'll be a standalone experience. LA will continue, and we're already planning our next LA show, which is much bigger than Tension, and happening a lot sooner than any of us thought. So the Russo brothers is awesome because they are a huge megaphone for our little voices. Because right now I have a voice from the Saw franchise which allows me to do certain things, but the Russo brothers have a amp system of such. I mean, the Avengers just I mean, come on, it's going to be $1 billion thing. These guys are amazing filmmakers, and they were able because their love of immersive theater to say, hey, let's put a spotlight on this. Let's put a spotlight on immersive theater and what they're doing, and they've given us a much bigger platform. By doing so, it's opened a lot of doors that before were closed. So we're very lucky to have met the Russo brothers, who are legitimately fans. I mean, they've done Heretic, they've done Delusion and Blackout, and they've done them all, and they're fans. So that's great. On top of that, we're working on a new project outside of the Tension universe, which is really exciting. Because when you're doing something like a Saw movie, you can't change what Saw is midway through. Saw is Saw. It lives in its own universe and its own rules. So for us, I can't suddenly change the rules of Tension and Lust. It's got to stay in that universe. So for me as an artist, I want to do other things. I don't want to just do one thing. So in the meantime, we're doing a workshop and incubating a new idea, which I'm as excited about doing as I was the first time I did Tension. It is so weird and unique and fucked up and crazy, but has nothing to do with Outworld. It's its own unique thing. So we're workshopping that as well. So we have Vegas opening, LA opening, and this new thing that we're working on right now, which will be its own thing.
And how can people stay up to date with that? Is it something that they could
just watch online? That's all I'm saying. I can't tell you anything else. Just watch. You won't know when it's going to happen, but it's giddy. I mean, it really is exciting because I'm such a fan. There is passion unparalleled to anything else I'm working on or do, because I put myself as an audience member. I know what I want to see, so I now have the resources to create what I want to see, and I think that's the exciting position that I find myself in. Is that I have a toolbox now that I never had before, and that toolbox allows me to build things that I never had the ability to build before. So now I just say, what do I want to see? Where do I think the void is? And I'm going to start constructing, and that's what we're doing. We're constructing.
And it's always fucked up.
This one is fucked up in a different way. It's not a shocking fucked up. It's a fucked up about how are we going to pull this off. Like when you hear what it is, you're going to be like, there's no way they can pull it off. That to me is what's cool. It hurts my head thinking about it. So I can't wait to see an audience that doesn't know the magic trick, what they're going to think about how we were able to do it.
Well, we look forward to finding out.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Darren.
Thanks, guys.